this is a question that the Lord has been asking me, and so I just wanted to share because maybe you need this too. The Lord has really been pressing on me to really ponder what my relationship is with leadership and submission. And because I am definitely someone who, before the Lord, had a very, hardened heart, and I had not the best relationship with being told what to do. And I remember continually praying to the Lord for a partner, a future husband, and then when He placed someone in my life who we're working towards marriage, really highlighted to me what my relationship with leadership and submission was like. And so as the Lord has been working on me in that aspect and being able to submit to my partner, another season I've entered into recently is praying over myself for covering when it comes to my ministry, right? And so the Lord has really been making that again more apparent. What is my relationship with leadership and submission? Because I do believe, just in general, especially in ministry, if you're going to be online teaching, if you're going to be in church teaching, whatever the case may be, if you're doing ministry in any way, Bible study, whatever, you need to have a covering. You need to have someone who can hold you accountable, who you can turn to. And so I believe that if that is something that you shy away from, you have to ask yourself, what is your relationship with leadership and submission? But also in relationships, if you're someone who's praying for a future husband, you're praying for a future wife, you have to ask yourself, what do I submit comfortably? And do I struggle with someone else trying to lead me? Do I always want to be in control? Am I always, giving people pushback when it comes to trying to guide me and to lead me? And that's something that I face in my relationship with my boyfriend, for sure. I had a really tough time submitting. And that also translates to how you treat the Lord. Like, how do you submit to the Lord? How are you submitting to His leadership? And how are you trusting Him? Like, are you submitting to His word? Are you submitting to His direction? Are you submitting to His will and the things that He has for you? Or are you more prone to being like in control? I'm actually working little sneak peek, but I'm actually working on putting together a devotional right now, and my excerpt yesterday was all about being in control. Like, I remember when I moved to where I live now, I had 6 years ago, I moved out of my small town and I moved to Texas, and the city that I was in 4 years later, I felt like I was really outgrowing, and I continually was praying to God to get me out of that place, right? And when the opportunity came for me to move to where I live now, the price for it was literally dropping everything that I knew. Friends that I had met and made over the last 4 years, the job that I had, like, it meant completely leaving everything, moving to a new place without any security. And I remember my struggle was I wanted to be in control. Like, I wanted the Lord to tell me, like, what is that going to look like? Am I going to find a job? Like, do I need to find it? I remember doing applications and having interviews and nothing was landing. And the Lord was just saying, trust me. And so that took submission to Him, to His guidance, to His leadership, and to me saying, like, okay, I trust you, Lord. I'm just going to pack my car and I'm just going to go and I'm going to hope for the best. And so we really have to ask ourselves, like, what your submission looks like to the Lord is also going to translate to every relationship in your life, every helpmate that He gives you, because I do believe in the importance of community 1000%. I believe that your community, your godly community around you, plays a big part in everything that you do. Like, community is so important. And so the Lord, when you're also praying for help and guidance, He will bless you with people in your life that are appointed to help you in the season you're in. So even with my boyfriend, like, I know that the Lord blessed me with a helpmate, right? And so if I'm praying for guidance and I'm praying for, a future husband, whatever, the Lord gave me that in the form of my boyfriend. And so I had to really dive into myself and say, I can't be so stubborn when He's trying to guide. And I'm not perfect. Like, I still struggle with this, right? But I had to learn submission and leadership and what that looked like in a relationship. I also had to learn that in friendships. And now I'm also learning that in the aspect of someone who's going to hold me accountable over my ministry, because I might hear things that I don't like. I may hear, advice that I don't like. I may hear, get convicted or hear direction that I don't like. And how do I respond to that? How do I communicate through those things, are things that I have to listen, I have to work through. So I also say this to anyone who's stepping into ministry, who makes videos, who does Bible studies, but just in your life in general, when it comes to walking with the Lord, you need someone who's overseeing you, who can hold you accountable, friends, elders, whatever the case may be. But you have to, like, also ponder on, how am I responding when someone's trying to guide me or teach me or, coming to me and holding me accountable? And am I willing to submit? Because how you're willing to submit to the people the Lord sends you also is a reflection of how you're willing to submit to the Lord. You know, you cannot do things alone. Like I know personally for me is like, I can't do ministry just saying, you know, just, yes, I lean on God, obviously. But the Lord doesn't want it to just be you and him. He wants you to also appreciate and pray for people that he can place into your life to help you through whatever it is that you're doing. But sometimes we can also ruin relationships that the Lord places in our lives, like guidance that the Lord places in our lives, because of how we respond to it. And so, yeah, I just wanted to say that, like, what is your relationship with submission? What is your relationship with leadership? What does it look like when someone in your life tries to guide you and to help you? Like, how do you respond to that, you know? Because I know my response was not the best. Like, the Lord is still working on me. But before I even knew the Lord, I did not like people telling me what to do. I did not like being held accountable. I did not like, you know, even sometimes I still give my boyfriend a hard time, and I know I have to be better, and I'm still praying to the Lord to help me. But it's also something that I think about when it comes to a relationship with someone overseeing my ministry, where it's like, I can't always be giving pushback and because like if I'm praying for something and then the Lord gives it to me, why am I fighting it? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, ask yourself that. What is your relationship with leadership and submission? What does it look like when it comes to your relationship with the Lord? What does it look like when it comes to your relationship with your partner? What does it look like when it comes to people who hold you accountable, friendships, all that? Because when people are trying, like when the Lord says people, they will know you by your fruit, that also comes in how you handle relationships, how you respond to people. Like I've had to learn, I talked about this a lot on my platform, like when people would come in my comments and say certain things, like my response was not the best. Like my posture was not the best because I didn't like how people were talking to me. I didn't like people coming for me or questioning me, et cetera, where the Lord has really had to soften my heart and also show me, like, how do you respond to these things? Like, how do you respond to people disagreeing with you? Because that's going to happen in, you know, leadership, in appointed leadership that's sent from the Lord. Not everyone is going to agree with everything that you say. So how do you respond to that? Because if you are also wanting to grow in the Lord, it's going to take uncomfortable feelings. It's going to take uncomfortable situations. And I believe that even in the church, like my pastor talked about this through a series that we're going through talking about people, purpose, placement. And this is something that's really big, even when it comes to the church. Like, how do you respond to leadership and submission to the body of Christ, like to the church? You know, if you're constantly jumping from church to church because you're finding something wrong, you have to understand in that situation, you're probably the common denominator. Like you're probably just very sensitive to things happening when the Lord is saying, not any church that you find is going to be perfect. Some things are going to be uncomfortable and painful, but you have to work through that in order to grow, not continually turning your face from my bride and trying to find something that's perfect, right? So yeah. That's all I got. What is your relationship with submission and leadership? Ask yourself that. Comment it down below if you want to share. But yeah, that's all I got. Love you. Bye.